So last time we were discussing about few things that where this method is not going to work. So this was basically the example what we have taken. So this is x1, this was x2. So you could see here f of x1 into f of x2 is less than 1, but still the root does not lie between x1 and x2. Okay, so this is what is happening and where this is the root. So in such cases I cannot use bisection and false position method. This is the one of the typical example. The another example is that I have taken one example. If you remember, x square minus 4x plus 4 is equal to 0. This was the equation, and I say root is 2, that we are aware of. So if I try to draw this curve will be something like this. Okay, so this is fx, and whose equation will be x square minus 4x plus 4. So this is the root. It is having two roots, and both the roots is having x equal to 2 value. Okay, such root we call as double root. If 4 roots are lying at one location, then we call it as a quadruple root. So in this case, though root exists, but what I see, all function values are positive, and therefore I cannot have something like this, that is f of x1 into f of x2 less than 0, and therefore again I cannot initiate bisection and false position method. So these are some of the cases where though we call this bracketing method, okay, what we call bracketing method? So bracketing method are convergent method. They are convergent methods. Why? Because we bracket them. So this is one police, we put it here. Okay, and this is the thief, what we want to catch it, and another police we put it here. So we bracket the stuff, and then we allow these two police to move towards and finally catch the thief. That's the what bracketing does. How they are going to move, linearly or by half interval, that is decided by the particular method. But we are going to catch this chore, or we call this as a root. Okay, and that is why we call this as a convergent method. That means always it gives you the solution, but that is not the typical case. That is not the case with this and this, and then there are many such cases where this is going to happen. Okay, so basically if I see the equation of this, so this will fall in this category. Okay, and such equation will fall in this category. So either under root of some quadratic polynomial or the quadratic polynomial. If this is such a case, this is the case of parabola, hyperbola or ellipse. So you will find out this. You can model it. So you have the x square by say a square plus b square plus y square by b square is equal to 1, and then you could see that y will fall under root of x square plus something like this. Okay, so for such equation, these two methods generally doesn't apply, and that is what is the reason. Okay, so we cannot use this for bisection and false position method in such cases, though they are the convergent method. So already I told you that whatever we try to do it in numerical method, its guarantee is always 99.99%, not 100%. Okay. So okay, so here the task was there. Which statement is valid? Okay, f of x, x square minus 4x plus 4. For this equation, which statement is valid? Bisection method gives the root of this equation. False position method gives the root of this equation. Both the method gives root of this equation. Both the method do not give the root of this equation. So which option you are going to select? Yeah, you can answer. You can unmute yourself and answer.
Sir, D. Option D.
Option D. Okay, thank you. So obviously, this is answer D. This is correct. Okay. So just because of some CSS, the arrangement is not there. So but the answer is D. It's correct. Okay. So both of this is what is the thing. So you need to study in detail about the behavior of these two methods by solving and providing lot of equations. Lot of equations you have to provide it, and then you will be able to understand and judge the behavior of this method, how this method is going to work. Now this is one of the typical example, and of course we do have a something called as x raised to power minus 11 equal to 0. For such equation, so if this is such a kind of behavior, okay, and you have the initial guess x1 here and initial guess x2 here, in such cases generally false position tend to be faster, but in such a typical case what we see is the bisection method is faster. Okay, so most often the false position will be faster, but there are some cases where the bisection method will be faster. So that depends upon the nature of the problem and environment what we are trying to solve it. Okay, the second thing is that the computationally expensive and inexpensive stuff. So if you see the formula of false position method is lot bigger, so we can say to calculate value of x3, false position is lot more expensive as far as computation is considered. So you need to evaluate a computation time for the thousands and maybe 10,000 iteration if the complex equations are there, and then you need to evaluate time that which method is going to give me a faster solution. Okay, here iteration might be requiring more. In case of bisection method might require more number of iterations. Okay, but it will be a lesser expensive, because how do you calculate the x3? x3 equal to x1 plus x2 divided by 2. Okay, so it's a computationally expensive. But in case of false position method, I calculate x3 as x1 minus f of x1 minus x2 divided by f of x1 minus f of x2. So you could see there are so many mathematical operation and function value requirement. Okay, and that tends to be a lot more computationally expensive as compared with the bisection method. So if we want to have a computationally faster, then again we have to rely on how complex is the function value. Okay, because here function values are required. If those are simple, so might be lesser iteration, more computationally expensive, still false position will prove to be better. But if the function is lot complex, though it will take more number of iterations, but as far as computation time is concerned, it will take lesser time to reach the value of the root than the false position. So there are a lot of things you need to think about it before saying anything, the better, best, and all these options. Okay, so if you have understood this, let me know please. Okay, you can type in WhatsApp group you something else, or you can unmute yourself and say something. Hello, I did not. Okay, so group is working fine, no issue. Okay, so that's the way. Okay, so now basically we will again one solve application based problem. Okay, and then we will summarize and go with some programming stuff. So here in this case, let's solve one of the applications. So there are a lot of applications if you go in post test. Okay, so many application based problems are there which you can try to solve. Okay, so this is basically a example from gear. So in theory of machine, you might be studying some involute and involute profile gear or cyclodal profile gear. So there is certain calculation of module. Okay, and it requires a iterative process of solving some trigonometric function. So this is one of the typical function where you evaluate the gear of module. Okay, so some applications are there. You can try it. So let's try to solve this. The velocity of falling parachute is given by something like v equal to this. So I just try to write it. Okay, so I just write my equation here. So v equal to g of x plus c, and I have 1 minus e to the power minus ct by x. Okay, now parachute with drag coefficient c is 13.5 kg per second. Compute the mass mass x. So x is the mass. So I just purposefully put the x as a mass. I can use m, but the student tends to get confused because they are using a variable called as y and x. Okay, so y equal to f of x. If something I say, let us say distance is equal to function of m, then they get used to confuse it. So to avoid that confusion, I am using a variable x. Okay, you can use m and still you can solve in that way. So that the velocity is given to 36 meter per second. So ex spin-meter use e. So that is what it is mentioned. So what is unknown to me here in this case? V is given to me, c is known to me, g is acceleration due to gravity, that is 9.81. Okay. What I need to find out is the time period. Okay. So I need to evaluate. Okay, so time is also given. For parachute with drag coefficient this, compute the mass. So mass I need to find out. Okay, velocity is 36 meter per second. So this is what is given to me. Okay, so I need to find out function of m. Okay, so how do I get it? There is a one additional term is missing here in this case. That is time is not mentioned. Okay, so maybe you can consider time to be, let us say 13 seconds, no issue. Okay, so I can assume time to be 13 seconds. Okay, so this is what is there. Value of g is given to as 9.81. Value of c is given as 13.5 kg per second. So all the values are known to me. So how do I write f of x equal to? So from that, f of x equal to v minus gx upon c 1 minus e to the power minus c t by x. So this is my function value. Okay, and now I can try to see the solution. So this is pretty equivalent to x square minus cos of x, which we have solved. Okay, so just let me know whether you can solve this equation or not. This is of course equal to 0. This is f of x equal to this is equal to 0. Okay. Okay, if you can solve this, just type f. Or else you can type no. So s, you can say, you can solve, you can type n to say no. So it doesn't make any difference if you type a no. Ultimately what we want, we should be in a position to solve it. Okay, so I got a few options. No. Okay, so let's do it. Okay, so I rewrite this fx equal to v minus gx upon c 1 minus e to the power minus ct by x equal to 0. So if you have understood equation number 1, okay, so just type 1 please, at least. Okay, fine. So now x is mass basically. X is mass. So value of C is 13.5. Okay, I am not writing unit now. V is 36 and let's say T is 13 seconds. Okay, that is what we want to do. I don't know whether T equal to 13 seconds is going to give me a solution or not. Okay, that I don't know. This may be my false assumptions. So it is not mentioned. So this could be my false assumptions. So that later on we are going to do. So X is mass. So it's the mass of a parachutist. So parachutist, we know it's a human being and its mass could range from 50 to 100. So this is what is the typical is the what you say mass or weight of a human being, which ranges from 50 to 100. So this could be my initial guess. So let's try to do it. So I have x equal to 50, not 500. Okay, so I have the x equal to 500 and I have the f of x. Now put this 50 in this equation along with all these constants. These are the constants. This is not going to change. So you can replace b with that, c with that, and t with this values. Okay, so this becomes only in f of x equation. So put this 50 in this equation and let me know the value of f of x. Has anybody calculated the value? Has anyone calculated? Okay. So I got 0.75291. Okay. And now for 100. $921. So I missed the, okay, 921. So 400, so minus 24.102074. Okay, so this is what I'm getting for 100 and for 50. So, but obvious, this is positive, this is negative. So root do lie between 50 and 100. Okay, so let's work out this with the bisection method. So I have x1 whose value is 50 and function value f of x1 is say 0.752921. Then I have the value of x2 which is 100 and I have the value of just a moment. Okay, so I have f of x2 minus 24.102074 x3. So how do I get x1 plus x2 divided by 2? So I get 75. So what is the function value of f of x3? Do let me know. for 75, is it minus 13.25 or something else? Okay, so two of you are getting something like this. Okay, so according to me it should be very close to 0, but let's see. Okay, so maybe my assumption of t equal to 13 seconds might not be correct one. Okay, so let us see. So this is what I got. So this is the negative, negative is going to replace the negative. So I get 75 here minus 13.250143. This is 50. So this remains as it is, 752921. And here in this case, this is what I get is 62.5. I can get the function value of 62.5 now. So anybody could help me to get the function value of 62.5? Yeah, I got minus 6.6768825. Okay, so again this will stay as it is, and this will be 62.5 now minus 6.6768825. Okay, so this is the thing, and then I can keep on going it. So I hope you have now understood this operation and can do on your own. Okay, if you can do on your own now, you can type S. So again we are back to here. So you have again two options, S or N. So any one option you can type. Yeah, so basically that's how we go ahead. And in case of false position method, the formula what we calculate x3, that is the only is going to change. Here the formula is x1 plus x2 by 2. In false position the formula would be different. Okay, so procedure remains more or less same. So what we are interested how we can write the code and can we get it, or else what we want, I want to suggest what this software can do it at this location. Can we make this software? So that is what we are talking about. Okay, so let's try. Okay, so I have the Scilab also, so we are going to later on try the Scilab code also. First we will try with some kind of JavaScript code where you can make UI very easily. So this is how I started a VS Code. Okay, I hope you can see the VS Code. If you can see the VS Code, you can unmute and say I can see.
Yes, I can see.
Yeah, fine. So I just click on File and New. Okay, and then what I do first, I need to save this. Okay, so I just save this onto desktop. Let us say I create a new folder. Okay, and I would like to have a HTML file this as a okay. So I select HTML extension and let us say I name this as a bracket. Okay, and I would like to save. Now this is the bracket or HTML. So listen carefully. Again, I am repeating. Listen carefully. I press the shift button and 1. So this is the exclamation sign which I have pressed here. Okay, I press the shift button and 1 and the exclamation sign. So this is what is appeared. Now what I am going to do? I am going to press a tab key. Tab key is present on a keyboard. Okay, so I am going to press a tab key. So as soon as I press a tab key, all snippet related to HTML that will be available to you. Okay, that is clear to everyone? Everyone, what I did? If you have understood this, you can type a U. I just press the exclamation sign and then press the tab key. That is how I got this. So preferences, setting, text editor, font, so maybe 18. Okay. So I will go for 20. Okay, so fair enough. This font is I'm able to see. Okay, so this is what I got. It's a very pretty easy. So now I need to change this. Okay, just give me a minute. I need to bring my keyboard. Okay, fine. So basically this is a structure. It represents it's a doc type HTML. Okay, so here the HTML tag starts. Language is going to be English. So HTML had basically a 3 distinct content. First is head. Okay, so head is about, you are talking about some references, the title, about the document, about the page, what you talk about. So present it doesn't make a difference, leave as it is. So this is title document. You can call it as a, you can change this as a bracket. Okay, bracketing. Okay, so bracketing method. So this is appearing in the now title bar of page. I just say hit save. Save is very important. Now I can go to desktop and then there is a name of this bracket. So if I start this, I could see here at the top bracketing method. So if you are able to see this, I hope you are able to see. So bracketing method does this appears here. That's what the title is representing. Okay, it's pretty simple. So this is related to head. Presently will not go in detail. Then there is a distinct called as body. So where all the your most of the content will go in there, and of course there is a, just like head, there is a footer also. So presently we don't require footer, so only 2 distinct contents are there of HTML. So HTML starts here. This is how it does. So it is the start of HTML. Okay, so I can collapse this. You can see this is the start of HTML, this is the end of HTML. This is the start of head and this is the end of head. So every has a start and end. So I just collapse. So likewise body is this start and this is the body end. So you could see what represents the start, what represents the ends. Okay. So first of all, let's create a function, because I will be requiring a function value to evaluate this. Okay, so how do I define? See, programming is very easy. We want to first finalize what is the requirement. Okay, so let us say, okay, So I need the f of x first of all. Okay, then I need initial guess x1, then I need initial guess x2, and I need to check if f of x1 into f of x2 less than 0, then I am going to proceed. Okay, or else I am not going to proceed because the root does not lie between this. So these are the things. If this happens, then what I am going to do next step is I am going to calculate x3 as x1 plus x2 by 2. Then what I do, I try to find out whether root lies between x1, x3 and x1 or x3 and x2. Okay, so let us say if it is lies between x3 and x1, so my x2 is of no use. So therefore, I replace x2 with x3. Okay, but else means what? This is not the truth. That root doesn't lie between x3 and x1. Instead, it lies between x3 and x2. So then x1 is of no use. So therefore, I will replace value of x1 with x3. And what I do, I keep on doing this for certain number of iterations. So say let us say I want to do for 100 times. I want to get more accuracy, so I want to perform this 100 times. So 100 times it goes on calculation, and finally I am going to reach to the solution. Okay, this is how we are going to go ahead. So I hope you have understood this. You can type Y if you have understood this. You can type Y. Okay, so I'm going to create a function first. So I just write function. So this is how I write, and the function is f, and it is going to accept x as the argument. Okay, so let us say you are organizing a program for the MESA. Okay, so for organizing MESA, you have appointed 3-4 students for doing certain functions. Okay, so let us say one of the student name is F. Okay, so F is going to perform a certain function. So what is he going to do? He is going to perform a function. So what is the name of the student? Name of the student is F, and what is going to do? He is going to perform a function. That is what it defines. Okay, this is how. But to perform that function, he requires certain inputs. Okay, and then he will process it. He cannot do on his own because he doesn't have an input. So what input it requires? He requires X. X is what is his input. So that F student who is performing a certain function in MESA requires X as the input to perform a certain functions. Okay. Now what is going to perform? So I have the start of the function as opening braces and end of the function as the opening braces. So this represents the start of the function f, and this represents the end of the function f. This is how it works. Okay, everything will have a start and end. So what he is going to perform? He is going to calculate the value of something. Okay, so therefore I write var. Var means a variable. Let us say I say z equal to what I want to do? I want to calculate x square. So how do I write x square? So it is math dot POW so why did not I got the math dot PW? Not there is a problem, and that problem I will tell you, because I am writing a script, so I did not initialize with the script. So this is my scripting, so I need to put a tag a script here and then Control X and copy and paste it here. Okay, so that is how I am going to work with. This is the script. Okay, so script means any program what I want to run. So I just have an indentation. Okay. So I can say var z equal to, now I'll be getting a help, math dot, okay, POW. So POW is the function. What I want? X comma square. So this is x square. This is how I got x square. If you want under root, you can put 1/2 or 0.5. Okay, that is how you get x square minus math dot cos of x. So x square minus cos of x is equal to 0. This is what our function. So this is what we are going to do. Once he calculate the value of z, what he is going to do? He is going to say, okay, I have done my processing and my processing is stored in variable z. So you take z back. This is what I have done. Z is my result. So I am returning z. So this is how that particular student F is going to perform in MESA. Okay, fine, no problem. Okay, now let's have a sum initial. So I'm not going to use any kind of stuff. So initially I'm going to assign in the program and slowly we are going to build up. So I say var, so initial guess x1 equal to 0.5. This is what is my initial guess. Okay, then I say var x2 is equal to, so presently I am assigning in the program. Later on I can take from my user, but first I want to do it whether it works or not. So therefore I am assigning in the program. So both the variables I have assigned. So x1 I have, x2 I have. There is absolutely no problem. Now I want to check if, first I need to see whether the root lies between this or not. So I say f of x1, okay, into f of x2 is less than 0. Okay, so if it is less than 0, then I need to perform a certain functionality. So if f of x1 is less than 0, that means okay, this is my initial guess, correct. Now I can go and keep on finding the function called as root. I can keep on finding the root of those values. So here I can say, I just put a comment here. Okay, go ahead. So double slash is comment. Go ahead and find the root. So all the root finding stuff will be available here in this case. See, each line ends with semicolon. That you have to be aware of. Okay, it's pretty similar to C. Okay, so else. Okay, so else is what? I'll display a message that root does not lie. So root is not going to lie between this, so I cannot proceed it. So how do I display a message? I say console dot log okay, so I can display a message, say I cannot go ahead as root does not lie between given guesses. Given guess. Okay, so this is what I can say. Okay, so let me know whether you have understood this. You can type U. Up till now you have understood this. Okay, so now let's go move ahead. Let's find the root. Okay, so first is find x3. Okay, that is how we do, and we have to do a certain number of iterations. Okay, so let's say I want to do it 100 times or maybe a 5 times. That is what I want to do it. Okay, maybe 100 times, maybe 10 times. So initially, let's say we perform only 5 times. Okay, and we will see how we can go ahead. So I say y, number of iterations I want to perform to be a 5. Okay, that is what is my objective. Okay, and therefore I'm going to initialize my loop. Okay, and I'm going to initialize var I equal to 1. This is how I'm going to do it. And then I say while I less than equal to n, and perform this n number of times. Okay, so what is the meaning of this? Let's try to understand. Okay, so what I have written is while I less than n. Okay, and above this I have written I equal to 1 initially and n equal to 5 initially. Okay, so what is the meaning there? There are some 4, 5 statements, and finally what I say, I equal to I plus 1. So what is the meaning? First, it will, after these 2 lines, the control will come here. It will check. Sorry, I cannot keep my both mic and pad together. Okay, so it will check whether I is less than or 1 or not. So currently I is 1 and n is 5. Okay, so therefore it is less than equal to, so therefore this condition falls to be n is equal to 5. This condition falls to be true. Since it is true, it will get inside this while and perform whatever the 4, 5 statements are there which we would like to execute. Then the next statement is I is equal to I plus 1. So initial, so what is the meaning of this? I is equal to, what is the value of I? Current value of I is 1. So it becomes 1 because this I is 1. 1 plus 1, it becomes 2. So therefore now I becomes 2. From here control goes to here. This belongs to while. Okay, so since it belongs to while is a loop. Okay, while is a loop. So therefore from here the control will go back here. Again, control will go back here. Okay, so it will check now. It will check whether I is less than n or not. So I is currently 2 and n is still 5. Okay, n I am not changing anywhere. So again this condition is true. Therefore again it will get inside this. So this was for I equal to 1 and this is for I equal to 2. Again it gets inside. Again executed 3, 4 statement, and then again it will reach to this location, and again this statement is I equal to I plus 1. So that statement is I is equal to I plus 1. So I value, current value of I is 2, as we can see from this. 2 plus 1, I becomes 3. So now the latest value of I is 3. From here it goes here and this belongs to this, therefore it goes to the top again and again checks whether I is less than n or not. So current value of I is 3 and n is still 5, therefore condition is true. Therefore again it will get inside. Now this is for I equal to 3. Again it will execute 4, 5 statements. Again it will reach to this position and it will become a I equal to I plus 1. So now I is equal to, the current value of I is 3. So this is 3 plus 1 is equal to 4. So I becomes now 4 and n becomes 5. Here in this case, from here it goes to here. 4 less than equal to 5. Condition true. Therefore it will execute all these statements. It will go here. I becomes 4 plus 1 is equal to 5. Current value of I is 5. So here condition I is 5 and value of n is also 5. So less than equal to condition evaluates to be true. Either it should be less or it should be equal to 5. So that is true. Therefore again it will get inside. This is for I equal to 5. It will execute these statements Again this will execute. So I becomes 5 plus 1, that is equal to 6. From here I becomes now 6. From here again it goes to top. So here I is 6 and n is 5. This condition is false. Since this condition is false, from here control will come out of the loop and it will go to the next statement. So this while, it will not execute and it will go to the next line immediately. So if you have understood this concept, type W please. Okay, so that is what I am going to do here. So this is the while, this is the start of while, this is the end of while. So I say x3 equal to x1 plus x2, okay, by 2. This is how I calculate. Now it's time to check. What it's time to check? x3 equal to x1 plus x2. It's time to check whether it lies between x3 and x1 or x3 and x2. So I need to make now these decisions, whether it lies between x3 and x1 or it lies between x1 and x3. That is what I have to make it, decisions. So therefore I make a decision if function value of x1 into function value of x3 less than 0. So it is meaning is it lies between x1 and x3. It lies between x1 and x3 and x2 of no use. Therefore I write x2 equal to x3. So this is what is the replacement I am doing it. But if this condition is not true, if this is not true, that means this if is not going to be executed at all. Okay, वो skip हो जाएगा. ये कंडीशन ट्रू है तो ही ये एग्जीक्यूट होगा. अगर ये कंडीशन ट्रू नहीं है तो ये टोटली स्किप हो जाएगा. अभी स्किप होना है तो मतलब क्या करना है अपने को वी वांट टू से एल्स. व्हाट वी वांट टू से? वी वांट टू से दैट नाउ x1 इक्वल टू x3. ओके, व्हाई? बिकॉज अगर रूट x1 और x3 के बीच में लाइन नहीं करता है, इसका मतलब वो x2 और x3 के बीच में लाई करता है ऑटोमेटिकली. उसका मीनिंग यही होता है, ऑटोमेटिकली मीनिंग होता है कि वो x2 और x3 के बीच में लाई करता है एंड x1 इज ऑफ नो यूज. सो देयरफॉर एल्स रिप्लेस x1 विथ x3. दिस इज व्हाट आई एम गोइंग टू डू इट. सो दिस इज फॉर द इफ एंड एल्स. इन नो केस both if and else simultaneously will be executed. Okay, there is no chance both will be executed together. Either this will be executed or this will be executed. Only one of them will be executed. There is no way both will be executed simultaneously. Only one of them will be executed. Either this or this. Okay, so if condition is true, then this will be executed. If the condition is false, then this will be executed. Okay, so if you have understood this concept of changing the value, you can type F. You can type F, or if you have a question, you can unmute and ask. Okay, so great. Now it's time to display the value of all the variables. So I say console dot log. So I'm going to display. So what I want to display is first x1 equal to plus x1, okay, plus some space I would like to have, then f of x1, so it will be new function ना, न्यू फंक्शन नहीं, ठीक है, यहाँ x1 x2 रिप्लेस हो जाएगा, ठीक है। अभी फिलहाल छोटा करते हैं उसको, अपन x3 डिस्प्ले करते हैं, बाद में लेटर ऑन फुल टेबल कैसे करने को देखेंगे। x3, then I have the x3 and I'll have a f of x3 equal to plus f of x3, and this is comma. Okay, so this is the way. So x3 equal to, in double quotes, it will be printed as it is in front of the screen, x3, and instead of this x3, the value of x3 will be printed. Then this will be printed as it is on the screen, and in front of that the function value of x3 will be printed. So I'll keep getting this, and of course I need to stop this. Okay, so I need to have a I is equal to I plus 1. If I forget this, my loop will be infinite. Okay, because I will never go below equal to or greater than n. So I remains the same, so it will go in infinite loop. So this is how the small program is. There is absolutely no rocket science. It's a very small and simple program. Anybody could write it. It's a very, very simple program. Okay, so I just hit save. Okay, now this is the bracket, so I need to reload it. Okay, so what I do, I press F12 key. I press F12 key. So there is a F12 key on the keyboard. I press it, and then I click on this elements and consoles. All these are there. So I click on console. Okay, I click on console, and then I say reload on this because I have made the changes and I need to reload this page. So I reload it. So immediately I get x3 equal to 0.75. If its function value I am getting here. Okay, so I just miss out one bracket here, so that is why it is coming like this. And you could see I am getting x3 equal to 0.8218. So finally it is going towards root. So I can increase the now number of iterations. So f of x3. So here one bracket is remaining. So instead of this, now I change the value of m. So you'll understand what I am changing it, so that my number of iterations will be keep on changing it. Now I reload it again. So what I did the 10 number of iterations. This is my x3 and function value is now very small. You could see. Okay, function value is very small. Now let's see whether this program is doing the same stuff. Say x square minus cos of x. Initial gain is 0.5, 1, hit solve. So you could see 0.823 something, this value, and here it is coming minus 0.0095. Okay, so let's compare. So you could compare immediately, they are same value. So you could see the software what is doing. The just now we have wrote the program, the same program is doing the same stuff. Absolutely same, absolutely no difference at all. Okay. So now my question is, are you able to write this program on your own? अभी आप लिख सकते हो क्या program? You can type Y if yes, if you can write this program on your own. Okay, I give you another option. No, you can type also if you cannot write the program on your own. Okay. Great. So in writing HTML programming, basically you can write this on mobile also. So if you don't have any kind of desktop or laptop with you, so already I posted one app called as ANet Write free. Okay, AN Write Free app will allow you to write this code on your mobile also. Okay, so you can still write this and run the code on your mobile. So of course, if you have a desktop, you can also work with the Scilab. So Scilab will be having a little bit advanced feature. So non-programmer will require lesser effort in case of Scilab. Okay, so let's try to run this. So I need to check few syntaxes because since I'm working on so many programming languages, so I just need to check the few things, syntaxes. Okay, so let's see. I don't know. So I start Scilab. Okay, so if you are able to see Scilab, anybody can unmute and let me know whether are you able to see Scilab.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so I start with new file. Browse for new. Just a moment. Hello. हा माझं लेक्चर चालू आता 2 नंतर सर. हा दुपारी 2 सकाळी शक्यच नाही ना पोरांचं असतं. हा Okay, so did I missing something to create a new program? Okay, no issue. So I right click new. Where is my NMO? Right click new text file. Say bracket file save as all files bracket dot m. So I saved that as a bracket dot m, which I open a file from desktop. All files bracket dot I think so they have changed the extension. Previously it was M. अच्छा dot s f2 So execution done, he's saying. I don't know. So this is Scilab console basically. Okay. Okay. So this is the icon where we can start the new file. So this is the new file, and then first of all let us say save as desktop NMO. Okay, so it has another extension, we'll see. Okay, fine. So now format editor option, preferences, set font. So I set it to 20, apply. Okay, so I can start here saying x1 equal to 0.5, x2 equal to 1, then I need a function value. So somewhere below I write a function value, function f function f x, then I can say z equal to, here I have to say z equal to f of x. So return value is z equal to x square minus cos of x. So this is how my function value I am going to return. So this is all about the f of x. How do I write? Okay, then I need to use I is equal to 1, n is equal to, no, first I need to check whether root lies between this or not. So if f of x1 into f of x2 less than 0, okay, so that is the case. So what I need to do, I need to go ahead for calculation of my root, okay, or else what is going to happen? So I am going to display some message. So how do I display a message? Using print, I suppose. So I just need to check the syntax. fprintf I can use it. Okay. So I can use f printf, and then I could say /n stands for new line. Well, root does not lie between what you say given guess. So this is what I'm going to have, and then finally I'll say end if. Okay, only end is required. So this is the start of if, and finally this will be end of if. In this way it will end. So now let's say I want to go ahead with calculation of this. So I could say I is equal to 1. So I want to perform certain number of iteration, n is equal to 5. Okay. Then I will say while, okay, I less than n. This is what I want to do it. Okay. And what I want to do is I want to calculate x3. So x3 equal to x1 plus x2 divided by 2. This is what I want to do it. Okay. And then of course decision I have to make if f of x1 into f of x3 less than 0. Okay. Then I need to change x2 with x3. Okay. Else I need to change x1 with x3. This is what I want to do it. So now this if and when end. So this if has ended here, and now I need to display. So f printf /n say x3 equal to, so I need to use %f %d what? %f I have to use. Okay. So %f, and then f of x3 is equal to %f comma x3 comma, somebody's mic is unmuted, please mute your mic. This is, and finally I say I equal to I plus 1, and this is the end of y. Okay, so you could see this while had started here and ended here. So this is the else. So now I put the two programs side by side. Okay. So where is function? Function, it is gone below. I can put this function at the top also, no issue. It doesn't make any difference. Okay. So you could see, so if you are aware of logic, programming is no big deal, no big challenge at all. You should be very sound in fundamentals. Programming is damn easy. Okay. So even I don't know Scilab how to work, still I have written the program. It's that easy. So you have to be very sound in one programming language. Of course, you can convert that program into any other programming language. That's how easy it is. So have you understood this? So if you have understood related to Scilab, you can type S. Of course, we are going to run later on. I don't know whether it is going to run or not. So there will be small errors that I need to sort it out. So now I need to find how to run this. Execute file with echo, with no echo, I don't know. Let's say I go with echo. Okay. So this is my console, and on this console I am going to get basically the result. Okay. So execute with echo. So undefined variable f. So I'll control x this and paste it here. Okay. File, save, execute with echo.
एकदम काही काय मध्ये गेलं तर ते घालून नव्हतं.
Undefined variable f printf. So maybe print I have to use save, execute with echo. See, I got the answer. You could see I'm getting the answers. Okay, but I just had x3 equal to, this should not be the answer, 84 is what I made a mistake. x2 equal to x3, x1 equal to x3, x3 equal to x1 plus x2 by 2. Okay, maybe this might be the stuff I need to do with more iteration, so I will get answer. So I just put n equal to 10 and then execute with echo. Okay, so I got the answer. So you could see function value is getting very less. So it's very easy, just few things here and there. So here I use console log to print. So what should be the print statement in case of Scilab, that I need to find out, and just I need to provide that thing. But how to write if in Scilab, how to write if in JavaScript, that is what is the difference. So it doesn't make any difference which is the programming you use it. Your logic is the only important thing. Okay, programming language doesn't make any difference. So now your choice. So in this program, what should I change so that it will turn into a false position method program? That is what you have to tell me now. What changes I should make it so this becomes a false position method program? Chalo, come on. Everyone, you can unmute and say, ऐसे बोलोगे तो कैसे चलेगा? बोलना तो आना चाहिए. Yeah, only 2 answers I got it. Siddhi, you can tell me. You can unmute yourself and please answer.
Sir, x3 equation. x3 equal to
Okay, fine. Shubham, Shantanu. So already I have told you, to solve this, what I need to do, I need to make the changes here only. So the value, the way I calculate x3, that is only going to change. So therefore in the program also, the how do I calculate x3, that is only going to change. So it doesn't make any difference. Okay. So what I'm going to do right now, that I'm going to change the way I calculate the x3. So how do I calculate x3? I calculate as x1 minus f of x1, okay, into x1 minus x2 divided by f of x1 minus f of x2. So this is the way I calculate the what you say, the new improved root value with the help of this one. Okay. Okay, so I just save this and reload it. So I get an answer with false position method. So that is what this all about. So now of course you have the choice. So I'm going to leave your choice how you can display your values. Okay, later on you can have the web page and those stuff. You can have the input from the user and so on. Okay, that you can do it. So that's very simple stuff. You can also have something called as here prompt. So I just put plus prompt, okay, and then I can have a comment, enter x1 as my initial guess, and here in this case I can have plus prompt, enter x2 second initial guess. So you can have your comment what you want to do it. You just hit save. That's the only difference you are going to make it. Okay, so now user will be able to provide this one. So I go here in this case and reload it. So enter x1, so I can put 0.5. Enter x2, I can put 1. You can enter different values. Still you are going to get the result. Okay, so the small changes what you make, you will be able to use this from the user. Okay, so you have the input from the user. In case of Scilab, what you need to do here in this case, you need to put input. I hope this is correct syntax. Okay, so enter x1. Okay, here in this case input double quotes, enter x2, that's it, and now execute with echo here. So here I need to sorry, I did not press enter there. So here I have to enter x1. So x1 is 0.5. Again I have to read that. Execute with no echo. Okay. So no echo, enter x1. So 0.5, enter x2, 1. So still I am going to get the root of an equation. So this is the way you can go ahead and you can write your codes. It's very easy. Okay, it's the only logic what you want to do it. So the process already you are following in terms of Mesa, maybe Baha, maybe Supra, any other organization. So you are very well aware of the process. How do you follow? Only you need to learn one of the programming language. So what the process manually you are doing, you can make it computationalized. It's very easy. Okay. So fine, thank you. So I end today's lecture over here. So I'm going to just a minute.